All right. Last year, very painful at this time of year. Let's see how this season goes. First and foremost, we need a hitting coach. Daryl Sizemore would be incredible, even if it's only for a short-term deal. Let's bring in Daryl Sizemore. 4 big free agents for us. First and foremost, Kenny Watts. I would love for it to be a 5-year deal at $10.8 million. We'll give him a player option to sweeten the deal to bring him to age 35. Our boy Juan Guerrero. 5 years to bring him up to age 30. $12.6 million per. Player option as we try to keep Juan Guerrero. Fernando, our shortstop. Looking for a 3-year deal. $11.5 million per with a player option to bring him up to age 35. And then Howard O'Neill. We're going to want a 4-year deal to bring him up to age 30. And we'll go back about qualifying should we hit the last day. Sizemore's on. Still nothing. We got one. Howard O'Neill. Lowest rated option, but Howard O'Neill stays as we await the other options here. Honestly, now is the first day to go back and reoffer a little bit more money. Let's go $11 million per player option for Kenny Watts. Juan Guerrero, 5-year deal. We'll go $13 million. Player option. And then Fernando, the 3-year deal, we'll go $12 million even with a player option to try and get these guys to sign. We're going to have to qualify all 3 of these guys, and we'll see if anybody else walks. We'll see if anybody else walks. We'll tender all 3 of them. Those qualifying deals. Free agency. Juan Soto might be leaving Cincinnati. He is the top free agent. Baltimore's trying to keep Francisco Alvarez, even though they signed our catcher last year. Figure that one out. Okay. As we always do, let's go through this roster really quickly. So we have McCauley. We have Mr. Nunez, Mr. Sung. We now have the Fishman. We got Mr. Lopez, and now Grove is here as well. So it'll be Alan Hill, Tommy Rogers, and Jason Kendall, not that one, who get released. First base. Right now, for the moment, it's Vince Messer, who is our highest rated. Then Pablo Ramirez. We do not know what the status will be for Juan Guerrero. We have Burnett, and we have Wells. So that's Strickland and Valdez that we can get rid of. Second base, Andy Holland. Same time, I'm going to reorder this just to make sure I'm looking at the highest rated dudes first, not the most recently drafted. We got Andy Holland, our boy, number 44, Scott Obama. Because who doesn't love Scott Obama? Then there is Corey Wills, Joe Dale, and Mr. Reyna. So Espinoza. Get rid of you again. Johnny Light. Get rid of you. Third base, Ricky Gutierrez, Chad Dean, Sean Carter, and now Roger Reese. Those are the 4 third basemen that we actually have. So Sedano can go, Hinojosa, and Kenny Humphreys. Thank God for Rick Gutierrez. Shortstop. While Flores is currently on the free agent list, Freitas shows up as our highest rated shortstop. Then it is Marco Calderon, Mr. Gutierrez. We got Cortez. And then Mora, Noble, and Rodriguez. So the gang is all here. At shortstop, except for Flores. If we lose Flores, though, Fritas steps in. It's the everyday MLB starter, even though we can't really hit. Alberto Del Villar in left as our highest rated left fielder. I really don't know if I want to play him in the majors short term or just play him in fucking single A. Then there's Ruben Ott, Rene Gutierrez is down to a 71. We might be looking at Del Villar's future. Then there's Guzman and Ken Hahn. We really did just take another Rene Gutierrez, didn't we? We really did. Fuck. In center, we got Lewis Courtney, DJ Hamlin, and Ramon Hinojosa. Do I need a controller for this? That's funny, because I could have sworn I had one plugged in. Thank you. Let's see. Get rid of Fernandez. Get rid of Mike Starr. And then in right, it is David Sanchez. But now Rivas is the second highest rated right fielder. Gaucho, Liss, and Ivan Pena. All those guys are ours. Beautiful. Beautiful. So nothing really to change there. Get you a look at some of the development of some of our other guys, too, as we go through this. For the starters, oh boy, did this list change a lot. But we have Carlos Delgado Jr., then it is Montanez as the next highest rated. Johnny DaCosta. You got Frank Brandt and Hughes. Man, our starting pitching took such a hit last year. Jason Gill. God, if you weren't 23 already, you could be considered a top prospect. Let's see, there's Dixon. The recently drafted Fabregas. Then Frank Christensen, finally, who's 28. Absolute trash. Kranick we can let go of. Leisure we can let go of. Then it is Mr. Alan Dyer. Ruben Eckert, who we just drafted. Ruben Aaron Eckert. Dusty, 8 months. What a wonderful 8 months. Listening to my hot takes. I don't know if I should be offended or if I should take that as a compliment. But Dusty, thank you, and how the heck are you tonight? I hope you're good. Or maybe I don't. After that. Maybe I don't. Let's see, we got Hiller, Lopez, Santana, and then Slinger. It's a weird system for us now. And in terms of relievers, we have... Boy, you don't realize how difficult it is to type. You got to use your middle finger instead of an index finger because of an injury. We got Martins. We got Miranda. We got Hidalgo. It's a compliment. Was it, though? We got Varela, Michael Strickland. Good old Mikey Strickland, Jose Lima, Kingman, then Esposito. Okay. And again, the reason why we're going through all of this again is just that I know I can take certain dudes out of the whole Rule 5 running to make sure that no one kind of sneaks through for us based on the way that it sorts that out. Daniel Espinosa right now is our highest listed closer until we know what happens with Watts. Even though you're a Bruins fan, I respect you. Well, thank you for that. Hey. It's always the amount of times I've gotten the, well, for a Bruins fan, you're not that bad. The amount of times I've gotten that over the years.
Here comes a pizza. See it?
Frank Grimes, how does one subscribe for 49 months? That's ridiculous. You'd think I'd remember to cancel. You would think, but somehow, here you are. Somehow, Frankie. Thank you, though. Thank you for said 49 months. It just wouldn't be the same streaming without you here. It wouldn't be. I gotta be honest. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. This team, the Pittsburgh Pirates as a disease, is finally taking over and making me question life decisions. But that was to be expected. That was always going to happen. Right? That was always going to happen. All right. I don't think there's anyone that we overly have to worry about losing in the Rule 5. I mean, like Cortez, Kingman. I guess we can add Cortez and Kingman. Just because they're younger, so I feel like they might be kind of prime options for other teams to pick up. Is there anybody else? Lima, Christensen. All right, I'd like to think there's nobody else. So we should be fine. Lewis Courtney, arbitration-wise, we'll go 3 years at $2.2 million, as he's really developed into a solid player for us. 2.6 a year for 3 years for Harper Rivera. And then Miranda will go 3 years at 1.5. And then for the other contracts, so we got Mr. Brandt. That'll be 2 years at $800K. Hughes after last year. So 2 years, $800K. Gill, Dixon, Christensen, Leisure was gone. Whoops. I got offered Dyer a deal. And Mr. Santana. Dalgo will go 1 year at $900K. Stevie Varela, 3 years at $800. Whoops. Lima's fine. Kingman's fine. Esposito and then Elliott, Covey, and Hawkins aren't ours. Gotta get Spencer and Irizarry back. Ray Nunez, David Sung. Is Lopez ours? He is ours. He's trash, but he's our trash. We got Burnett, Wells, then Strickland and Valdez are not ours. Corey Wills, keep you around. Joe Dale. Mr. Reyna. Got Chad Dean and Sean Carter. At least it's not the Oakland A's disease team. I mean, hey, at least they're moving. Stubbs, what's up? Thank you for that. And hey, I appreciate the lurkers too. I appreciate the lurkers too. There are some people here who have shown up year after year who don't say a damn word. But I see you. I do. I see you, and I love you. I'm glad video games trying to ruin my mental stability has proven to be entertaining. Of course, they have succeeded on some attempts. And then there's Frank, who never shuts the hell up. Let's see, 3-year deal for Hinojosa. Rivas. Hey now. I say it with love. I say it with love. DJ Liss, Ivan Pena. Hey now, you're an all-star. At least if it's not Japan. Yeah, right? I mean, God. As painful as this has been, it's not been as painful as the Japan to Glory. At least so far. Okay, nobody else has offers out for our boys here, so let's see what happens. My mental stability's ruined before the video games. Fair! I feel that. All right, so the Orioles, I guess, were just future-proofing themselves as Francisco Alvarez goes to Chicago. Those 3 free agents are still out there. Son of a bitch. Lurkers are bottom pair defense. No one notices, but they're important. Yeah, let's go with that. X-Tech put it in hockey terms. There you go. All right, so 40-man wise, like I said, we should be fine. We still have a couple of contract offers that have not gone through. Let's go 2 years. Honestly, let's just leave those for the moment because we have until December 2nd. Still waiting for these guys to accept our damn offers. Connie Griffin goes to Oakland. Okay, the Dodgers and Marlins have entered the Ken Watts sweepstakes. We might be losing our all-star closer. Juan Guerrero has accepted the qualifying offer. Ken Watts and Fernando Flores all accept the qualifying offers. However, we are now over budget because all three of them accepted those offers. All three of them accepting a qualifying offer absolutely screwed us. Yeah, all three of them are making $22.5 million. Fuck. Okay. The obvious choice would be for just letting go of Fernando Flores. He is awesome. Oh my God, his OPS is routinely over 800. Ah. He's 32 though. When is he going to start declining? And if we were to let him go, that allows Fritas to just be the guy. This is a Gold Glove shortstop who needs to develop a little bit at the plate, certainly. We obviously don't want to let go of Guerrero at 25. Kenny Watts is 30. That would be a pretty big hit to the bullpen. 40 saves last year. Career whip of a 1.23. Career FIP is a 3.99, but has been pretty fucking good the past few years. What's up, Endo? No, we're not. Cam, 5 years, 2 months, 24 days. You did hit 5 years 2 months ago. 2 months ago you hit 5 years here, which is nuts. It's insane. $6 million over budget. Torf tonight, yes. Fielder could be dropped because we know he has just been a bang average reliever. But he is 2 years younger than Watts. Pittsburgh has a budget. Apparently, 3 players on $22.5 million just fucking destroyed us, all of them accepting. I would have rather had Ken Watts leave and get compensation. We have to make a choice. We have to make a choice. And then we still have Guzman out there as a free agent. It's either Flores, Watts. We can't afford to drop Delgado. It's either Flores, Watts, or Fielder. But I don't know if dropping Fielder will technically work because it was a front-loaded deal. I don't know if that would technically cut enough money. And that would be a disaster if it doesn't, because it means we'd have to get rid of somebody else. Watts or Flores has to go. For nothing as well. Disaster. O'Neill could go as well, but the problem is he's only 26. Like, he's making a good amount of money, maybe too much money, but he is only 26 years old. 1.28 career whip. His FIP rating is amazing over the last 2 years. Sub 3 is phenomenal. We're going to suffer another big loss. Fernando Flores has been amazing at the plate. By our standards. I think Fernando has to go. I think he does. We have Fritas there to be the guy. You know? I mean, granted, we got to make Flores. I wanted to kind of keep Fritas in triple for a little bit longer, but I think it's got to be done. The alternative is weakening what is one of our bigger strengths, which is the bullpen. Although you could argue we could afford to lose somebody because we're going to have some good players down in AAA. What a terrible decision to have to make. What a terrible night for a curse. Flores or Watts, basically. Yeah. Unless we were to trade... Yeah, what all-star do we get rid of exactly? Okay. I think we could do something different, though. I think we could. We're going to have to put some thought into this. So at catcher, there's nothing to do. That situation stays. At first base, Guerrero gets paid too much this year, but he and Messer are staying, no doubt. Second base, obviously, it's Holland. All that stays. Gutierrez stays at third base. Flores on the $22 million. We have 6 more years of contract control for Fritas. I think it's got to be fucking Fernando. I don't want to get rid of Fernando, but damn it. I wanted to let Fritas try to tear it up in AAA and continue to develop at the plate, but I don't like being reminded about that. Rene Gutierrez is making $2.2 million. At the same time, you could argue just let him play in the majors. But even then, I don't know if he even starts over Ruben Ott. Because again, Del Villar, I am probably going to play in single A. I know it's like, well, I'll play him in the majors, see if he can make it. But I want to test out if I can put him in single A and see if his potential goes up. That's the theory. Because playing Gutierrez in the majors did not result in that going up to a C potential. Del Villar becomes a C potential, he's going to be fine. Should we get rid of Gutierrez? Because we have Courtney making 2, we have Hamlin making 3, Sanchez and Wright. I mean, that's the outfield. Gutierrez would be on the bench anyway. Okay. So it's $2.2 million of Rene Gutierrez. We can't afford to drop a starter, obviously. So then there's the relievers. But can we drop somebody else instead of Kenny Watts? That's the question. Right? That's the question. Austin Fielder's making 6.2 this year. Career ERA and whip aren't that great. He's a bang average pitcher. Career FIP of a 3.72. Rivera, at 26, just re-signed for $2.6 million. He's got 3 seasons under his belt. The whip's looking good. Career 4.21 FIP for Harper Rivera. He is only 26, but damn, he has not been good for whatever reason. But do you want to bank on him being younger? Then there's Galloway making $2 million. Whip's all right. ERA is a bit high. The FIP is also over a 4 for his career. So, I mean, in theory, you could do something like cut Galloway, Rivera, and that outfielder. Howard O'Neill making $12 million, but again, his FIP over the last few years has been awesome. Espinosa's made an all-star game for us. Last year he sucked. The few years before that, though, he was good. So I don't think we'd cut him. But yeah, last year was his worst season as a pro. He's only 23, though. He goes nowhere. And then there's Kenny Watts. Has a career FIP of a 3.99. But has pitched his best 2 seasons yet. is an argument to get rid of Watts, but he is also the highest rated dude. And we're going to run into the same issue next year if we keep him. And again, we got like Martins, Miranda. Miranda's actually making a little bit of money. His career FIP has sucked, and he's 32. We can get rid of Alberto Miranda, at the very least. I think we can nickel and dime our way to success here. I think we can. I mean, this dude's making $1.5 million per. He's a 77 at 32. His career stats are shit. I'm going to cut Alberto Miranda. Just in general. So, Alberto, thank you for 126 appearances in Pittsburgh. But your time is done. Just outright release him. This is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. The failed experiment, Rene Gutierrez. I'm going to let go of you two. At best, you'd be on the bench for us, making $2.2 million. But did you teach us how to make the most of Alberto Del Villar? That's the question. We're going to drop Ruben Gutierrez. You could even... it's not worth it. It's not worth it, though. We'd only save like $600K. Fuck. We have to get rid of either Flores or Watts. I tried. But we got to. It's got to be one of the big two. It's got to be one of them. We tried. We're not allowed to trade anybody now. So Watts, 30 years old. We do still have some depth. Again, he hasn't been amazing. The benefit to keeping Flores is giving Fritas a little bit more time to develop at the plate in AAA. I think it's got to be Watts. I think it has to be Kenny Watts. We have more depth in the bullpen. And I'm kind of afraid of throwing Fritas to the Wolves in the majors because I don't know if he'll be ready with those plate stats. You know? Fuck. It's got to be Watts. I hate to do it, but we're going to lose another really good player. Yeah, that other reliever, Miranda, we got rid of too. That's not a huge loss anyway. Ken Watts, looking like we're going to lose him. Available budget's still down until we know if people clear. We have a few days anyway. Okay, it's saying we can't afford those contracts, but, I mean, they signed the other deals, so it's fine. Budget-wise, it's still showing us $400K under. We have time for Guzman. It's fine. We do have to wait to see what's going to happen with Watts. Alberto Miranda claimed by Washington. Chase DeLauder gets dealt to Minnesota. We've seen nothing about Kenny Watts, but we do have $600K now in the budget. So now we can go after our boy Guzman. 3-year deal, $800K, which we cannot afford still. Those qualifying offers have screwed us so badly. So badly. It's going to have to be Austin Fielder who goes to. There'd be a lot of dead cap potentially, but we'll put Austin Fielder through waivers. And we're also still going to say goodbye to Rene Gutierrez just to try to clear out a little bit of money. We knew we'd have to start letting go of people eventually. This was not the way I thought we'd be going about it. But it's just kind of what's happened. Yeah, now we got an $8 million budget, which is nice. So Guzman, plenty of money to sign him now, so long as he accepts. I'm going to have to offer him about $1 million a year. Just to try and get him to sign fast. Austin Fielder, claimed by Cincinnati. And we're good to go contract-wise now. Crazy. Crazy, crazy offseason. We'll wait to see where Kenny Watts goes. Juan Soto, multiple-time MVP, goes out to the Dodgers. Max contract for 1 year for the 35-year-old. Oswaldo Peraza on his way, or Oswald Peraza on his way to the Cardinals. What about a certain closer in Kenny Watts? Get to the Rule 5 draft. Apparently we'll have top 5 odds for the lottery this year. Which I'm certainly not complaining about having high lottery odds. Beatty on the move. Brendan Davis on the move. What about our boy? There's Yuri Perez off to Boston. Good old Miguel Blay. Still waiting to hear about Kenny Watts. He still hasn't signed anywhere. And it's because he's still on a qualified offer. I do not have the money to sign him and to bring him back after all that, though. It's just, he's gone. We're running into some big budget issues now. I didn't think we'd get here this early as to where we'd have to start being smarter about who gets big deals and who doesn't. But I think we've reached that point, which is kind of scary. Rafael Devers on his way back to the AL East. So Ken Watt still being qualified means would get something if someone were to sign him, does it not? But we are ready, almost, for the start of a new season. Problem with Pittsburgh is you have exactly $0. That's, again, another aspect of why I like the challenge. But yeah, it could really complicate things moving forward. We do have a lot to set up with this team. Let's try to get it done really quickly. Instead of just signing a rando scrub, I mean, screw it. Let's just have Ray Nunez be our backup catcher. We will have Sung in AAA with Diego Lopez, who's never going to develop. And let's have Josh Fishman and Harley Grove in double. Yeah, Josh Fishman in double to start off. O'Neill making $12 million. He's someone who's going to have to go eventually. Big moment here. Pablo Ramirez. He's going to be on waivers. We'll have Maurice Burnett in double, and Trevor Wells can start off in single. Second base, it's Holland, Obama. Let's have Wills. He'll have to go through waivers. Joe Dale will have to go through waivers. Scott Obama might end up going through waivers as well. We can have Chad Dean on the Major League roster as a depth option. Let's boost up Sean Carter a bit too early. Put him in triple. Put Roger Reese in double. Fernando in the majors. Fritas in triple. Calderon will stay in the majors as a depth option. So have Gutierrez starting double. Cortez can go AAA. Mora can go AA, and again we'll have Noble and Rodriguez down in single. That works. Del Villar going to single A. And we're going to try to see if this works. And maybe, just maybe, that'll go up to a C potential. If it doesn't, he's fucked. He'll crash and burn. We tried, again, same exact player type with that Gutierrez guy we just got rid of. If we play him in the majors, it's not going to work. Odds are. Let's put you down in AAA. You can still be in AAA. Majors. Hinojosa in triple. You got Sanchez. Rivas isn't bad, but he'll still have to be down in triple. Gaucho can go AAA, and then AA for Pena. We got a lot of players on waivers here, too. Pitchers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5 with Dyer. Again, we drafted a lot of starting pitching. So we do have quite a few options. Again, I think we can get away with not really signing free agents now. So right now we're at 26 major leaguers. Let's sim ahead really quickly. See if we lose anybody on waivers. We did not, which is good. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's still good. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody under 75, I think, is going to have to go. How's the lineup looking? 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's pitchers. It's pitchers that have to go. Okay. So we will send down Michael Strickland. He's got to go through waivers. Steve Varela had another option year. We didn't lose Strickland either, which is good. Plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, we actually sent down one too many. Bump Stevie Varela back up. And then Kingman, I didn't notice that he was on the list. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to have to sign a bunch of dudes. A bunch of dudes. Saw the photos from the beginning of the minor league season. Marcelo Meyer put on like 30 pounds of muscle. It's beautiful, isn't it? The guy is a beast. All right. Well, from here, for the most part, then, I mean, we are going to need a few people to fill out the roster. Honestly, even these dudes in single A, like, fuck it. Go to double, whatever. Go to double, except for Del Villar. We're going to need some outfielders, and we're going to need some starting pitchers, but then for the most part, that fills out the team. Go 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. Let's see where we're at. Let's see. Drop you down to AA. Want to know what these rosters are going to look like before we switch over to some Road to the Show to end the night. I need to know. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Send list down to double. Gotta send you down to single. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. All right, I think we got a proper amount of depth there. Yeah, we do. All right. Now it is just, like I said, a bunch of relief pitchers to fill things out. Pretty much until the roster's full. We have lost so much talent in the past year. It's insane. It is insane. Did, like, everyone end up on triple? They did. All right, let's start putting dudes down in AA. And even putting some dudes down in single A. We definitely signed way too many, but that is okay. Better too many than too little. There we go. 26 across the board. Sim to the start of the regular season. Top prospects. Freitas is the top prospect in baseball. I do think giving him one more year to try and develop at the plate was probably the right decision. Have Flores for one more year, maybe two, and then hopefully by the time Fritas is ready, he's insane. Number 1 pick from last year's draft, Lerma, debuts at number 4. There's that Shibuya guy. You notice a lot of the guys, oh, there's the Yankees pick at 30. There's Gutierrez. Chad McCann, who we could have had in the first round, debuts at number 28. We only have one prospect in the top 50. Oh, yeah, this is what Lerma looked like. Also broke his shin in spring training, so GG's. He's not really amazing at anything. Good base running aggression, that's about it. Everything else is pretty rough. So if we were to look, our rotation for the year, since we had to get rid of Watts, it's looking like it's going to be Espinoza, highest rated guy. He will be the closer with Howard O'Neill. We got Hidalgo and Rivera as long relievers. Honestly, Varela could also be a long reliever. Martins, Galloway, Montanez, and Delgado were still looking good, but they were never supposed to be the leaders of this pitching staff. 95 stamina for Fabregas, getting ready to make his debut. Damn. All right, so we have a couple of relievers that we don't care about. Some relievers that we do. Strickland can be the closer there. And then AA. Just a lot of pitchers we do not care about. A lot of them. Except for Eddie Esposito, who'll be the closer. Good thing we drafted that many pitchers to help fill out a lineup. And then speaking of lineups, Major League level. I guess I didn't send down Rivas. Do I like that I didn't send down Rivas? Oh! Okay, just a little bit worried about Juan Guerrero's durability now. Just a little bit. So I'm guessing I did send down Rivas and he just happened to get bounced back up. Is my presumption. Either that or I really didn't send him down the whole time, and maybe I should have, but the injuries are brutal. Nunez, Dean, Calderon, Obama, Rivas. It's honestly not a bad bench. Andy Holland's leading off. Ruben Ott's in the lineup because of injury. Flores, Messer, McCauley, Gutierrez, Sanchez, Courtney, Hamlin. It's really not that bad. Having Ruben Ott in there is not the worst. And Hamlin sits against lefties. Interesting. AAA really don't have that many dudes on the bench. Whole lot of pitchers. And AA, honestly, we have so many people, I can't really worry about who's in the lineup and who isn't. So, AA lineup will have to be fixed too. I want to know, as we get ready to switch to some road to the show, I want to know, we apparently had the 5th best odds. Where are we going to be selecting this year? 5th. We do get picks 36 and 41 to help offset it. But a 5th overall pick this year. And a catcher who's projected top 5. And some outfielders after that. We might be able to turn this around after all.